London has a problem.
The shock and anger amplified by scenes like this. Sadness and outrage over the murder of Zara Aleena.
Speaking to women here, they say there is a desperately sad familiarity to all of this.
As of June in 2022, 13 women have been stabbed or beaten to death in this year alone.
Police arresting women at what started as a peaceful vigil for Zara last weekend.
The local council have now issued hundreds of rape alarms.
This is a story of one of those murdered.
And as she walked home, just 10 minutes from her front door, she was attacked.
Who was killed by a man who should have never been walking the streets.
Sending a deafening message that violence against women must end.
That's Jordan McSweeney. He's hunting for a woman to assault. While drunkenly walking the streets of London, he's found victim number 1. She's able to get away. After missing his opportunity with her, he moves on to find victim number 2. The woman realizes she's being followed and enters a store. McSweeney is right behind her. She notices him, so McSweeney exits and he waits outside. She doesn't see him. Once outside, McSweeney is back on her trail. She runs. The woman is able to escape safely to her residence, so McSweeney looks for another victim. This time, he finds 35-year-old Zara Aleena, and Zara won't be as fortunate as the others. Before I go into what happens next, let me give you the background of this man. Jordan McSweeney has been convicted of 28 different crimes and 69 different offenses. Shoplifting, abuse of a police officer, and even beating women. Just days before this night, McSweeney was released from prison. He had a mission, and nothing was stopping him. Once Jordan finds and reaches Zara Aleena, he grabs her with his arm around her neck, hand over her mouth, and he pulls her into the shadows. Zara was able to get up and almost get away, but McSweeney rendered her unconscious. Standing at just 5'1", Zara never stood a chance. After he was done, McSweeney continued to stomp on her before walking away and leaving her to die. But it gets worse. He walks away and then he decides to turn around and come back. And he continues to stomp on her. After the second assault, McSweeney emerges from the shadows to leave. This time he gets a little further. And once again he decides to turn around and come back. One last time, McSweeney returns, continues to stomp Zara in the head, effectively ending her life.
shockingly familiar crime scene of the police investigating the murder of a woman by a stranger as she walked on the capital streets. Early Sunday morning, she was attacked on this street in Ilford, an assault so violent she died in hospital due to her injuries.
The entire attack lasted only 9 minutes. Later, McSweeney is captured on surveillance footage, walking back to his car. The next day, he's captured on cameras again, disposing of his blood-stained clothes. Police were able to pull fingerprints from a banister that McSweeney was grabbing while he was stopping on Zara. Once they were able to identify who he was, McSweeney was arrested within hours.
You're under arrest for rape and murder of a female at Cranbrook Road, okay, on the 26th of June 2022 in the early hours of the morning. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something you later rely on in court, anything you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand? Right, stand up for a second, mate. Stand up.
Right?
Okay.
I've got it. Yep. Come forward.
Just gonna search you now, alright?
Zara was a law graduate, just simply out enjoying herself. But her death raises even more concern for the safety of women in the streets of London. Zara's murder is just one of many, like Sarah Everard, strangled by a police officer, Sabrina Nessa, murdered just while walking the streets herself. And that brings me to this point. My videos are made to create awareness in the abuse of women. And here is a man with 69 different offenses. Many of those offenses include beating women, and who knows how many are unreported. He's able to walk freely amongst innocent people who are just trying to enjoy themselves. How? London has a problem on their hands. And in his final act of defiance, McSweeney refused to attend his sentencing. His victims, the family of Zara, never got the chance to face him. This man was only 29 years old, and convicted of almost 30 crimes. The system is broken, especially towards women. And we've got to do something.